Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including The Owl House, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Heisen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
Sarah Dolman.
Hello.
And Allie Martin.
Hi.
Very excited to talk about The Owl House, especially the episode that just aired today, Enchanting Grom Fright. It is our Grom Reactions podcast here. As promised, we're going to be talking everything about Grom that happened today, and also the 3 previous episodes of The Owl House, which are Understanding Willow, Really Small Problems, and The First Day. Hopefully we'll get to have time to get to them at the end. But yes, it's Grom time. Hopefully.
Grom!
Yes, we're very excited to talk about Grom. Big day for the Owl House fans and everyone, the animation community. Everyone's into the Grom. Make sure you've seen Enchanting Grom Fright that aired tonight. You know, recording before it airs on TV. That's how it happens. But you've seen it come back. Spoilers for all episodes of Owl House from Grom and previous. Overlyanimated.com for all of our Owl House podcasts. We've had a few before this. Check them out. And subscribe. Search for Overly Animated Owl House or our YouTube, youtube.com/overlyanimated. Okay. Grom reactions. Tell us all about what happened when you were watching Grom. What you think of this episode, Delaney.
Okay, so I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like, okay, let's watch Grom. And so I was watching it and okay, so obviously we all had expectations for this episode, right? And you have your hopeful little gay heart that's been crushed so many times, but then She-Ra exists and you're like, listen, this is super gay, let's go. And then I'm watching the episode and it just kept getting gayer and I was like, oh my god. So I was just flipping out. One, I was already oh my god, she was gonna ask Luce to prom, but then the dance, oh my god, that was, I can't, okay, here's my thing, I knew this episode was gonna be gay, at the very least there was gonna be subtext or whatever, but I was not ready. I was I couldn't wake my wife up. I was I need to tell her that. I was I need to wake her up and be they're gay. But I had to wait until she woke up. Oh my god, it was amazing. I was sweating. I immediately read more Lumity fanfic. There was 2 posted. I was let's go.
At 4 a.m.
At 4 a.m. Oh my god, it was so good. I can't even we're gonna talk about it, but I just want to scream. This is. And it's not this is better than She-Ra. It's just the fact that we're also getting this, and I'm just on gay cloud 9. This is just, and also, this is a different kind of show than She-Ra. There's not this imminent, I guess, threat, of one of these characters dying. And there's the school setting, and this is just super cute, and it is famous last words. You were correct. We're not going to talk about it, okay? And there's just, it's just so cute. And the fact that these characters, I don't know, they're not significantly, but they are younger than the She-Ra characters. And this is just amazing. And also no one, we were all it's Disney, we know what we want, but then they're giving it to us. It's amazing. I think it's the school setting, and then okay, so can we talk about, so we have She-Ra, and it's so you have best friends to enemies to lovers, and now we have bully to best friends to girlfriends. I'm gonna lose my mind. Give it all to me.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good. There's a lot of hit points we're gonna hit on.
There's a lot of thoughts.
Delaney's hype. Yeah. No. I was briefly woke up at 4 a.m. and there's Delaney was
oh
wake up already. Talk about Grom.
Dylan and Sarah, and I was like, get up.
It's
I'm really upset that you were awake and you didn't message me back, you jerk.
I was half awake. I was debating getting out. No, I was no.
How were you all awake at the time I'm normally awake and I was asleep? This doesn't make any sense.
I went to bed at 7 p.m. last night, so I didn't do this on purpose.
It's a weird schedule, so I feel that's
my schedule's messed up. It's fine.
Valid.
I was oh, is this a spoiler? I don't know. At least it's hype. That's good.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to spoil. I knew me being hype was kind of a spoiler, but I felt it was generic enough.
You'd be hyped about it, whatever happened, probably.
Yeah, I was literally wake up.
Eventually, yeah. Okay. Let's continue with everyone's Grom stories from today. Sarah, what were your reactions to watching Grom?
Yeah, so like I spent like all day every day this past week just like extremely hype for Grom. Like it was really built up for me, and like I was just like jumping up and down all week, like always thinking about it, constantly looking for more Illumity fan art. And then like this morning comes and I wake up and the place where I watch it, because I'm not in the US, it didn't have it, and so I was like sitting on the edge of my seat all morning waiting to watch it, and I was just like all this pent up like I need to watch Grum. And
Illumity feelings.
and then finally I sit down and I watch it, and then like there's this like sense of like catharsis that I felt. Like I couldn't really place it at first, but like it was just like this happiness and relief. It's like, wow, like this like really incredible episode just happened. It was so gay. It was so beautiful. They danced. The animation was incredible. The character development was like super on point, super strong this episode. And like I've just been just kind of like writing that like, wow, it's just like I just like smile when I think about it. It's like, yeah, it's just like super gay, and I'm super happy, and it definitely did live up to the hype.
Lived up to the hype. Okay.
Yeah, like my face hurts. I feel you. It's like, oh my god.
A lot of hype. No, yeah, the expectations were just so high. We were seeing posts by the crew all week. And we were already hyped for Grom from the trailer.
They were torturing us.
Yeah.
You're going to be so excited. You're not ready.
Yeah.
We weren't.
Yeah, Allie, were you ultimately ready for Grom?
No. I mean, we all had expectations. I knew they would be surpassed, but like still, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to compare it to She-Ra, but I do want to, like, make a point. Like, this goes for, like, a lot of just the way, like, shipping is handled, or has been on, like, TV for queer couples recently. Like, if you don't like how it played out, regardless, like, you're going to consider, like, how it was done in the back of your mind, like, Korosami, Bubbling, whatever. Like, when we heard Grom initially, we were all like, oh my god, it's Princess Prom 2.0, and we didn't know anything about it. And, like, Lumity does a lot that Cachadora doesn't, or didn't and couldn't, and it's kind of vice versa. They're like really incomparable, but you're going to see parallels, and it's nice. But I feel like, I mean, I'm guilty of this too. Pitting shows against each other does nothing. It's not a good thing to do. Personally, I'm more of a fan of like the angst Cachadora genre, but that being said, I enjoyed this for the past couple of weeks. I've been enjoying it way more than I expected to, because I like keep thinking about that like little kids are going to see this on TV. It's very wholesome, and it's kind of rare that we get to see a queer couple start out wholesome in Western animation. I know they like start out as kind of like bully versus new kid, but the way they've been handled is so good. The note, we were all screaming about Dana's art about the note, and like we got exactly what we expected, and I just want to cry when I think about it. It's so beautiful.
Okay, yeah, we'll see if there's tears.
It's like me versus Allie. We're gonna figure out who cries first. Maybe Sarah. Sarah, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna run?
Definitely possible.
Okay. See who's gonna cry first.
We like it. Very emotionally open podcast. Yeah, it would be good.
Maybe Dylan will cry. We don't know.
Maybe.
What if we all cry at the same time in sync?
Yes.
That's called the Steven Universe. Yeah, but no, it's
that's true. That's
true.
Yeah, no, it will definitely inevitably get a lot of
diamond.
Okay, that'd be Am I setting the tone for an emotional podcast? Is that's what's going on?
It is emotional. It's so emotional. We're gonna talk about baby gays.
Yeah. You know, and then we'll definitely get into all comparisons and stuff. I mean, I think a lot of Cachadora and just probably some Starco, Katang, other etc. comparisons, all that to get into. Grom was so hyped for Grom. You know, some of us been shipping Lumity a long time. I mean, not that long. It's the first year of the show, but
it's been a long time.
It's been months.
Yeah,
so.
This year's been forever. So
it's been well, that's true. And what a high point of 2020 Grom is, right? But no, expectations were high. I think this episode like lived up to it. I didn't really know what to make of all the hype. It's like we're probably gonna get something explicit-ish, but I didn't see a kiss coming. You know, I feel like that's not yet. But you know, we get confirmation of some feelings. I know what Allie was talking about. You know, you wanted some angst. Here we go. Okay, definitely got some angst coming here. This
different
is just
flavors.
Different type of angst to the show. We'll talk about it. This is just a great episode. I just really like all of it is my favorite episode of Owl House. I think it's like the best, most solid, most complete episode of the show for me. So I was just really a fan of the episode itself too. Of course, it has that like 30 seconds of incredible different animation that we get in the dance. But this just the seeding of Lumity throughout the episode too. Like it's really the entire episode. We see their interactions, and that's really satisfying. And it's getting confirmation of Amity's feelings in an explicit way, and it's very exciting. The ending. I mean, there's a lot to get into. We have a lot of bullet points in the episode. It was just a really good episode. Everyone's reacting really strongly. It's really nice to see. This show, I think, getting into a lot of this in season 1, people being so into it in the first season, getting into this type of thing. So I don't know if we're expecting Lumity and Grom to go in exactly this direction, and we can, once we saw the note, I think it was more of a possibility, but I think it's an interesting place to be in, and I'm really happy that also the episode, I think, leaves it kind of open to more like this to come. We're basically in a similar territory, which I think
Amity
is
wants her girl.
Ways. Yeah, so we're in the situation that brought us Grom, right? So there could be more like this. Which I think is exciting.
Out.
Yeah. Okay, Delaney, tell me about the dance.
Oh my! Okay,
you're a noted Katango fan.
Okay, noted Katango fan. Okay, we're talking about the dance, not just Grom itself. Okay, so I was watching it and I was like, Katang could never
how
okay, look. I have shipped Katang from day one. I have shipped Katang now the majority of my life. It's intense.
Yeah, dang. It's like half of our lifetime.
Shut up. I'm a baby. Leave me alone. And it was like, you're only 2 years older than me. Shut up. And
I said our lifetime. It's fine.
Okay. And it's one of the most, Katang has always been important to me. And it was one of the first things I remember shipping. But then, so to see a new gay Katango, and obviously we had the dance in She-Ra, but that there's a very different vibe. For me, it was the Katango starts off, they don't know what they're doing. These girls just immediately, they're like, let's dance. And they just throw it out there, and it's amazing. This is I don't know what we're gonna call it. Is this the Lumity salsa? Also the fact that someone tweeted at Dana, they had their fan art, were waiting for the salsa, and then Dana tweeted the eye emoji. I hate her. And it's so good. It's the dance. It's also the tension in the dance is amazing. It's so good. And I can't even, there aren't words. I have to watch, I've watched the dance twice. I'm going to have to watch it 4 more times before I think it finally sinks in.
Only twice.
Gay it is. I've been busy today, okay? Unfortunately. I have to show it to my wife. So she hasn't been on board to watch
is this going to get her on board with Owl House?
And I'm going to have to be do you see
how she not been on board yet?
She didn't like the first episode. I know. And so I'm going to be look, they're gay. The first thing I said to her when she got up, I was like, it happened.
You just need to tell her it's the better princess prom, even.
I know.
Questionable, new princess.
No, it's not questionable. It's better.
It is better. It's better. It's more explicit.
There's another dip. There's a catch. We have smug smiles and eye flirting.
We got the grinning. We got the blushing. We got the dip. We got a dip and a throw. How did we get both of those things?
Seriously, they're all powerful.
They're also super close the whole time. They immediately are hello. So good. We got the hip grab. Everything that is happening.
Yeah, let's bring in all our prominent dances. You got the Katango, which is the headband dance in Avatar. You got Blood Moon Ball in Starverse. I think a pretty direct parallel because that's in a similar time in season 1 as well to this. And then you got the She-Ra Princess prom dance. There's some dances in Steven Universe you could throw in there too. What's the ranking, Delaney? Is this the best of those 4 dances?
Okay, so if we're gonna go through all the 4 dances, I'm trying to remember Pearl and Garnet. Anytime they fuse, it has to be number 1 because it's the gayest thing you've ever seen every time they do it. And then it's the Lumity dance.
Yeah.
And then
we don't need to rank the rest. I just want to know what the Grom dance. I feel it's called the Grom dance, but we'll see.
Honestly, Grom dance is number 1 in my heart, but when I think about Garnet and Pearl fusing, that dance is just ridiculous.
You added that one in there, but that's a good bit call. Yeah, so high ranking for the.
It's so good. No, it was immediately. Go ahead. Oh.
You gotta watch this more than I've seen this 10 times already. It's only 30 seconds.
I can't believe the Katango just got unseated. Obviously the only way to make the Katango better is to make it gay, but it's not just that. The dance is magical.
We have to talk about like the actual animation too. Who was the guy who came in for this?
Yeah, this is Spencer Wan, the animation director, I think, on season 1 of Owl House, who's also did the flying sequence in the intro of the show.
Yes, it's so pretty.
Yeah, he
It's
did
incredible.
a bunch of
He
stuff
went
in Castlevania,
hard.
which had some of the best American animation ever, and then also he did that one random Craig of the Creek fight scene, which is incredible.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I mean, this is
Like,
like incredible.
There was no
scene.
reason for them to go this hard with the animation, but
But
there was
they
absolutely
did.
There was
reason.
this was definitely
We
a
know the
reason.
reason.
Gay
Oh my
is
God.
the reason.
This was
Gay
the
is the
reason.
reason. And like it's so fast and beautiful and smooth, and you're just like, what am I watching right now? It's amazing.
I was like, James Baxter? No, something else.
Right, well, I think that's the other thing to compare to. This is next in line of sequences that go very different animation style, much more fluid animation style, randomly in the middle of episodes with different, like a normal style, akin to that Steven Universe Change Your Mind James Baxter scene. There's that one scene at the end of Infinity Train Book 2 that has crazy fluid animation. Like so this is like a new, recent trend, I feel like, of shows going all out for certain scenes, and I feel like this is one of the best applications
Good trend.
ever of it.
Good trend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
They're like, we're
People are
gay.
trying
I'll
to,
make
like-
sure you know.
They're trying to make it a thing for a She-Ra movie if it's happening, like to get this trending so people will see that it's like a good thing to do.
That would be nice. I mean, the She-Ra movie, that would be nice if we went more into the animation.
Make all your main
Yeah.
characters gay.
Yeah.
In what? That general statement?
In general, in every
Just like-
animated cartoon ever.
Make your main characters gay.
I mean, that's what's happening in this show, yeah.
Yeah. Even like Ida, I mean, honestly, can we just
No.
agree Ida is not a straight woman?
You're talking about Ida being in her
Not at
suit,
all.
and then she watches the kids dance, and she's like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, does Ida know?
She's like, I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah,
of
we
my
want
childhood.
Ida to understand Amity likes Luz and start.
Does she though?
intervene.
Because they shared a look in the hallway.
Maybe that'd be exciting. Okay,
I need them to know.
okay, Sarah, what tell me about the Grom dance. What else? What haven't we talked about it?
I don't know. It's just like the chemistry is just so intense. Like they're just like I'm just like without words really, just about how amazing it is and how much I just can't stop watching it and how like they're like it's just somehow they can dance like this and like they come across like incredibly into each other, which is just true and so clearly is successful.
And they defeat a monster at the same time.
Yeah,
It's so good.
And like not only is there like it's not only are they dancing for the sake of dancing, which is like great enough. They're dancing like to defeat this monster together, and they're combining their strengths. Like Amity's got her abomination, and then we have Luz. She learned new spells. She can do plants now, and they've
Yes,
combined their
yes.
teamwork.
They're facing
is
their fears together.
point. They're facing their fears together. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Luz learns the new plant spell in the beginning of this episode. I think it's just a really solidly written episode. Like, yeah, we get a new spell in the very beginning, and then she puts it in here. And yeah, it's easy to get lost in the dancing. That's all for the purpose of them fighting the monster too. It's like a fight dance. It feels very Steven Universe. Yeah, were they going to fuse at the end of the dance?
Absolutely.
Obviously.
I think
Yeah.
they did.
I feel like that's
They
in
did.
play for the magic of the Owl House. But
Oh my
Uh,
god. I think I
They're
would
gonna
actually
fuse
have to
at the end of
like
season one.
leave the world. I would just be gone.
Yeah.
Allie,
Goodbye.
anything else from the dance?
No, I mean, we touched on like all the looks they were giving each other. That just like sent me reeling. Like,
The beginning,
I really,
the first thing is they're very close. The faces really right up next to each other. First shot,
Yes.
and then we just go from there.
like you think about the first time. I don't remember if that was the first time they met, where they where Luz challenged Amity to a witch's duel, and they got really close, like out of not tension, but like, well, a different kind of tension. Cause like, you know, you think about that first interaction, and then this. It's like they've come so far, and they're just, for now, such good friends, and it makes me feel all of the feelings. They seem
According
to
to
be
Liz.
good friends.
According to Liz, we're such good friends.
They
yeah.
seem to be.
Oh god, that was punched me in the chest. Like she was like, "Oh, I'll be your date." You know, that's what are friends for. And I was
That's
like,
what
"I'm gonna throw
friends
up
do.
right now." Like,
Okay.
Okay, let's talk
we're
about
just
that now.
best friends. Me
Uh,
and my wife are just such good friends.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
how look. With this, we get another show, more best friend memes. It's happening.
Oh,
yes,
so
sir.
That's good.
I want to just add, like, the framing with, like, the moon in the background was always just, like,
Yes.
so incredible.
The moon is a lesbian.
That's true facts.
I really like the music on the sequence too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. Yeah, we got a dip. So if you want to dip, Amity dips Luz, and then Luz catches Amity later.
I love the catch.
It's a lot. Is it really? It's really almost exactly 30 seconds, but there's like so much in there, and then 10 seconds is like the monster
30
too.
seconds of my life.
Like this is jam packed.
So you have 30 seconds left to live. Please.
Yeah, no, it's like the She-Ra kiss and then this. Like,
and then so like right after we get Grom tiaras for both of them.
Love them so
More
much.
gay.
I want to know if that's a thing that happens every year, if it's like something that came about because of like the tree that got created.
I
by
think
They
their-
make a tree
because
too. Yeah.
they defeated. I think it's because like, oh, you're the queen now because you defeated.
Yeah,
Prometheus.
Yeah, I guess so. We don't really explain it, but that's fun. Luz is Amity's very blushy, and right after
The whole
with the
time.
crowns, they're smiling at each other. Okay, so we talk about the note.
The note.
The note. So
Wait, I want to talk about the crowns while we're on that though, because
Yeah.
Luz threw it away because she like didn't care about it or was ashamed of her worst fear and not being able to face it. But Amity saved it because it was
stores
an
it, yeah.
important reminder, and I just can't with her.
Reading.
She's really precious. I'm sorry,
And
we can
also-
talk about the note.
Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, no, I know, like, but like that, they're the prom queens together. Like that's the
Yes.
gayest thing.
Extremely gay.
Queens.
True.
they're announced as the prom queens. Yeah. It's Amity angstily staring out the window saves the
They
crown.
both
Yeah.
are. Okay.
They're both
so,
out the window. Yeah.
Okay, so even if we didn't have the dance, let's pretend we didn't have the dance. And they're
Why?
both staring out the window. That is so gay. Like, this is like the gay angst is real. Like, they're both just staring out the window.
Should I make a
Ridiculous.
Makora parallel.
Makora. Oh my god! You said it. Not
Why
me.
did you
Okay,
say
moving
that?
on.
Shut
Moving on. I was gonna say it, but it's just upsets me. Okay, the note. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Amity, her biggest fear being rejected by Luz, and the shadow tears it up, and then we see at the end it was directed towards Luz.
Oh, I didn't think we were gonna get to see that it was loose.
Right.
Like so in the beginning. So we have the note the whole episode, and she's like, "It's private," and I'm like, "Ooh, what's it about?" And I was like, "I bet it's for loose." And then like it keeps happening, and then when they rip it up and we get the bottom, I was like, I know what was like. I didn't know we were gonna get confirmation. The fact that we got confirmation freed my soul. Like
Right. So
I
mean, along
oh
with
my
the ground dance, we talk a lot about explicit representation.
they're like, just in case you missed the really gay dance that just happened. Here's a
and of
piece
course,
paper.
with Lumity, we've gotten a lot of prominent moments that can easily be read as romantic up until now, and especially in this episode, and others we'll talk about from the previous episodes. But we talk about kisses, declarations of love, saying you're gay. Like these are explicit queer representation moments, and I think that we get something here that qualifies as that with the note. We see it's directed at Luz. That unfurling of the paper is such a huge moment for a kids show.
I know,
The
and then
ripping of
especially
the note. Did
because
anybody
they
else's
made-
heart destroy?
Yeah, no, when they
in two
ripped up the
pieces?
note, I was
Yeah.
like, no. And then the fact that it was obviously loose, and I was like, I'm gonna die. And then
Right, it's
and
obvious, but you don't expect them to actually
no,
us to actually
the
see
fact,
it. Yeah.
The fact that it unfurled and showed loose, I lost my mind.
Yeah,
and then,
seriously.
especially in the beginning of the episode where they were showing how romantic the gromposals were.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Like the whole
Like,
framing, it's like you're intended to view this as a romantic thing
This
to ask
episode
somebody
made
to
me
grom.
terrible.
Yes.
I can't deal with
Yeah,
it.
we
And then
Yes,
at the
the-
dance, we see two boys dancing. Also, I don't know if y'all
Yes.
caught that.
I didn't catch the first
I
time,
did.
but the second time, oh my gosh.
They're very blushy.
to go
It's
from
so
to
good.
go from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, where you had hints of background characters, to Jackie, to now we are oh my god, I just can't deal with it. The fact
like-
that oh
No, but even
No.
in 2000, what was it? When did Gravity Falls come out? 15? 14?
The
I
cops
don't remember.
a
I
long
remember
time ago.
Alex, he couldn't show a lesbian couple kissing in the background, and
That
now
too, yeah.
two main characters. I really want to know how much of their souls Dana and Molly sold to the network for this, because they deserve all the recognition, and
Really,
everybody
they
else who
do.
worked on the show.
Yeah, I mean,
So good.
we're in a new world where this type of stuff is happening, even on Disney. Of course, you gotta go to Rebecca Sugar and Steven Universe as the one to break break the ceiling on this, and Cachadora, a big step too. But yeah, no, we've kind of seen the progression at Disney, and Star clearly wanted to get into queer stuff more, and especially in its last season than they were able to. And now we're seeing kind of the next step as they're able to do more here. But yeah, no, it's season 1, explicit queer feelings shown on the show.
I want to talk about my hot
character
with towards the main character from who's basically the second main character in a lot of episodes. Yeah,
I feel like what we got from this with Amity means, in my opinion, a lot more than a kiss in a bunch of ways, especially this early into a series, because obviously you need, with the characters, you need build up or some sort of history between two characters to make their chemistry work or make sense. And to me, this was perfect. Real relationships take time to grow, and then there's crushes, and they come you never expect them to come at you. It comes out of nowhere. And Amity's supposed to be perfect. She has this reputation for herself, and this you can see that she's no exception to that with her crush on Luz, and it makes her so much more human, and it's so good. And especially because she's so young, it just makes sense. This is high school. It's just so good.
Yeah, and it's such a huge deal. She says, when Luz is asking, well, what's your biggest fear? She's like, well, mine is, why she's afraid to be the queen. It's well, my fear is very embarrassing. And, the fear of being rejected by Luz.
And outed in front of your peers.
Yeah. That, there's so much depth there.
Yeah, it definitely feels right for where this potential relationship is. I think it's exciting to see this as we're still kind of building up. We're in a lot of shows obsessed with the build-up stage, but we kind of stay low-key. This is feels like actual progression while still building up and kind of in a fun stage for their relationship.
But also a lot of shows are focused on the build-up, but a lot of LGBT relationships or feelings in cartoons are made apparent at the end. And now we're getting it in the middle of, or at the end
by
of
necessity, and now it's maybe a new world where we can show it earlier. And this is
even She-Ra and Cachadora, obviously the show was gay the whole time, but we know from Noelle talking and from the progression of the show that she had to hold her cards really close to her chest from the beginning, and really it wasn't until season 5 that we were really able to be okay, we're gay, let's go, and to have the ending that we got. But then, and obviously again, they were gay the whole time, but now this is season 1, and we're not even that. We still have several episodes left, and to be at this point, it's there's not really anything like this. Even Steven, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about breaking the ceiling in this progression. Owl House here is that it is the I'm not going to say the final evolution because we're getting gayer, guys, but we're talking about here is this culmination of everything that we've been seeing, everything we've been talking about. To have it this early and to have this development, and it's becoming a focus. We're seeing Amity more and more in our episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast also this year gets queer displays of feelings in season 1. No coincidence, these are shows that premiere this year. These are only shows that we can only get to this now because we've learned
because of everything
we've learned about She-Ra. They just literally weren't able to earlier in the show.
Basically, it can only get gayer.
Yes.
But this is one of the first shows that we actually can see a full same-sex romance arc play out throughout the course of the show I think we see that in She-Ra kind of masterfully maneuvered around the limitations. This show also limitations. Just because we see this doesn't mean they aren't constantly getting feedback and notes from the network. Of course they're going to. But we get to see it to less limitations, I think, and it's just really exciting to be able to see the full kind of arc and wherever we're going with that, which I definitely want to talk about, maybe where this is going to go in the rest of season 1 into season 2. But that's definitely a big element of the excitement here, and also it's just such a I think just such a wonderful portrayal of a relationship, one that's different than what we just saw with Cachadora, one that I think is speaking to a lot of people, that with great characters, that's seeded really well into the show. Just such a prominent placement throughout this season several times.
Yeah, it's not only a really incredible representation of queer characters, but it's just a generally really carefully, tenderly developed romantic relationship. For any show, it feels like they're putting so much intention into how they're building this, and it's really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and we get to, we're seeing like the result of a carefully planned arc through season 1, and we get to see the fruits of it in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's been so exciting. Even the last few episodes where we've been kind of within the last maybe 5 or so episodes seen this arc of Amity's feelings come up. I think it's been apparent even before now what's happening with the story of Luz and Amity in this episode culminates at least this aspect of Amity's feelings. Very soon after, a lot of frustrations come about. Shows prolonging parts of romance arcs, parts of romantic buildup, and this is a great culmination of kind of this first phase of Lumity and
which girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yes. Diaco crawled so these two could run and fly into the sky.
Yeah, I've been wanting to say that about a lot of things we compared it to. Crawled so they could run. Yeah, but no, this is this is what we wished we could have seen in Little Witch Academia.
Definitely,
so it's incredible here.
They're really kind of exactly the same. It's really funny.
I mean, I really think the show. I was thinking in a lot of ways American Little Witch Academia, but I don't know. Do they have a dance episode?
They do, kind of, sort of, but nobody she gets with
nothing
the guy.
Nothing like the romance arc we see here. Yeah, no, there's no Andrew here. It's continually.
Thank God.
Good.
To go from Understanding Willow to this, it's just like, oh my God.
Understand that was incredible.
It can only get gayer. I'm telling you guys, it's beautiful. Every episode
and also
is
the
just
fact.
more gay.
I don't want to give Disney a lot of credit, but I want to give credit to it. I'm just saying to give credit to where we've come, with Rebecca Sugar doing this, breaking the ceiling, on Cartoon Network and then into DreamWorks. And then finally,
yeah,
Disney.
it took you long enough.
This is where we are. For 2020, for Disney to have this show, it's astonishing where we've come. This
Do you
journey.
feel like they're embarrassed that it took this long? They're seeing the reactions of people that are so positive and they're like, wow, we really could have done this way sooner and been more.
It's an optimistic viewpoint of Disney.
Very optimistic.
Yeah, probably.
But
She-Ra's only been taking over Twitter for the past 6 months.
Should be noted this is kind of a meta discussion before we go back into more specifics from the show, but should be noted, we've heard a lot about how with Steven Universe, once they did Ruby Sapphire explicitly, then they can do other things that once they went through this limitation, it's okay, already the things that they're afraid of, other countries not airing it, etc., all that's already going to happen. So I feel like this is the moment when Owl House is crossing that boundary.
Yes.
So
now in season 1.
In season 1, which is exciting as we've talked about, but this should mean, I believe, that we shouldn't be too afraid of major limitations in the future, considering this has already been displayed as an explicit thing here. This means that Disney has already classified the show as their gay show, and like I've been saying, this is a more safe kind of area for them to go into this versus their
more
giant
gay
properties.
shows.
Yeah, this is the gay demonic show that the Christians are gonna hate.
They already hated it. They already hated it.
So they were like,
"This
is fine."
Yeah, no, I mean, I wonder if that was their thinking. That's pretty funny if it was, but
honestly.
but basically, we should be able to see the explicit continuation of their relationship, considering that it's already explicit here. If what we've heard is, I hope that my only fear is this is kind of a very low on the explicit level, maybe super oblivious people don't really understand, but I hope in their eyes this is
I think Amity is going to ask Luz out by the end of the season.
Ooh. Or do you think she's going to try and get interrupted?
Yeah. Do we? Let's briefly talk about that. We can go back to the.
I think though, you have to be willfully ignorant to be Amity wanting to ask Luz to Grom and that being her biggest fear of being rejected. That's definitely a straight thing.
Yeah, I mean, people are
your
just
straight
some people
are permanently affixed to your face.
You want to go with your friend
the hetero goggles
because you couldn't find a date, obviously.
Yeah. That's clearly what was happening.
Also the fact that she was like, oh, it doesn't matter, because it wouldn't have been a big deal if she could have just showed her the note. But obviously it's a big deal because asking her out as a date is different than Luz being like, oh, well, we can go together. I hate them.
I can't
I
get
think
over
that's
that.
clearly showed by the episode,
I thought Amity's biggest fear was going to be her parents because we were focusing on Luz's relationship with her mom and how it's pretty problematic. But she loves Luz more than she's afraid of her parents, and they didn't even let her be friends with a weak witch, and now she's in love with a literal human. So there's gonna be so much drama, also, but in a good way.
Okay, this is just funny from my personal experience. So this is a joke. My parents like to joke. They're like, oh, you're gay, that's fine. You don't eat meat, that's weird. So what if it's like, oh, you're gay, that's fine, Amity, but a human? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I can see
like,
that,
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
Racism
Like,
is
it'd
the
be
same
so
thing.
funny. Terrible, but like, and based on what we've already seen.
No, I do think you get expectations set in understanding Willow that this will be about her parents, although she overcomes a certain amount of seated fear of her parents' expectations in that episode. Of course, there's probably still a lot more to come, but they kind of subvert that and it's even more powerful when you see it as
I'm
being
also
Luz.
like worried about like, have her siblings mentioned this to their parents? Like, I feel like they must have if they're
I
like as
doubt-
sneaky as they come off to
I
be.
think she's
Oh,
telling them about that. About
No,
her
but no,
feelings.
not her crush, but just Luz existing and being in Amity's.
Yeah, maybe that could be a twist if they've.
Well, I doubt that
feeding
they've been telling their
information.
parents. I bet at some point we're gonna get like one of them being like, "Hey, Amity," and being like super annoying. Because please, I need that.
They should,
Yes,
bother her about her crush. Yeah,
Yes.
They seem very supportive of Amity, despite teasing her and stuff a lot. Like they
Yes.
help them out in this episode. They're helping her train before. I'd bet they'd be on Team Amity versus the parents. But there's
That's
probably
fair.
a lot to come of their family dynamic.
I want them to be like good siblings. Please don't make them bad.
I really like their exchange. It's like, let's say what we're afraid of. 1, 2, 3. Being alone forever. Being stuck
Yeah.
with you forever.
It's so funny.
Sad.
And then Ed's like, "Oh."
I'm really constantly surprised with how funny this show is in general. Like, it has a lot of hits. Like, I've just lots of nice surprises from this show.
I think the intro sequence with the king on YouTube, I think, is really funny this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting enough Wi-Fi for cat videos.
I'm glad they established that that's how they're getting Wi-Fi, just by opening the portal.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate
There's
it.
a lot of questions about the use of the portal we've had, and then in this episode, it's just there and open. It's like, okay, sure. That's
Yeah, if
what
you
we're
want some human milk. Oh wait, no, she doesn't like milk. You want some human soda?
doing. It's
Go
a
to.
big reveal. Loses lactose intolerant.
Yeah, big reveal. Honestly,
He's a big.
Yeah.
How tall is she? She seems short.
Yeah. Why is that relevant?
Yeah.
Because drinking milk makes you grow taller.
Okay,
That's not a real. King learned that on YouTube.
No one
Um,
made that connection.
Okay.
Listen, I don't drink milk either, so I wouldn't know.
I drink a lot of milk. It makes your bones strong.
We're talking about where we're going. So now we're in the state where Amity, we know Amity explicitly likes Luz. This is something we've suspected, considering she's been blushing all the time in the past few episodes. And then she talked to herself in the first day about how things change with Luz is there. And Luz
They don't change anything. Sure, Jan. They changed everything.
And Luz is seemingly oblivious. As far as we know, she didn't see the note unfurl, and she says, since the person you were gonna go with, just you can just go with me, as that's what friends are for.
Oh, it just hurts physically.
I really
But it
like
hurts
that
so good.
Amity didn't like. Usually in these shows, Amity would be like super depressed after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't have that kind of reaction here.
Which was also unexpected. I thought she would have not run away, but I thought she would have been really embarrassed, at least.
Yeah, but I think I think it makes sense. I don't think Amity is like super awkward around Luz. Like I feel like this is a very Amity type of reaction in dealing with her crush.
Luz is like not Luz. Amity is like, I'm gay, and Luz is gonna be my girlfriend.
Like
she knows how to be really composed.
She's very composed. Yeah, like she's
having
afraid
to put
of
on
the
a face. I hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. She's afraid of the rejection, but she's not like awkward around Luz. Like this whole episode, she interacts normally, not very Marinette like or anything.
Yeah.
Of course, like the opposite of that. So I think that's Amity's kind of a unique perspective. We see someone having a crush on someone, not getting
Also,
super nervous around them.
I think another reason why this is so satisfying, because in She-Ra it was very like, I'm not equal there and there. I mean, obviously Catra was like, I'm not going to say like more, it's not like she pursued Adora more, she's just more vocal and like, just very aggressively gay. But
More openly tsundere.
yeah, but here, lol, but here it's more like I'm really enjoying seeing this like pursual of like the main character, but like they're gay, like just this like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, well, Catra and Adora both seemingly unaware of their feelings until late in the series, right? And here we have a different dynamic where, Amity clearly aware of her feelings.
Yeah.
And again, not to say when I say these comparisons, not saying one's better or worse than the other. It's just like this is, I feel like, refreshing coming right.
We're in
coming
different
right off of that.
places. These are different
We have
shows.
to we kind of have to compare these because they're all a basis for things getting better. Like every new thing is just a basis for comparison in a good way. It's not meant
We can
to
only
be
count
like
our
one is better than
gay
the other.
cartoons on one hand, okay, guys? Like, we're doing our best.
That's
Yeah,
so sad.
Let's compare
It's still-
to also
yeah.
straight Disney ships, just because
Yeah.
it's super relevant. Because I think we're in the Starco territory when one of
Yeah,
them
that's
has a
fair.
crush on the other. Because that's where we were in Starco the entire show. It's like
True.
first Marco had a crush on Star, I feel, and then Star has a crush on Marco. Then Marco has a crush on Star again. Is that what we do?
like
Can we
Yes,
not do that
something
again?
like that.
Right, so it's
I
like
would
let's
like
not
them
do that. That's
not
like
that.
that's the it's. Are we gonna move? Is this where are we going? Is this because we've seen in Star actually we've been talking about like we hope they don't drag this out. We hope this is something that naturally progresses. It's okay if it like goes past season 1, but it would be cool to see them in a relationship in the show actually because they always get together right before the end. Like now we're in a similar point to a show that did drag it out for the whole show. So could be seen as a little worrying, but it's very different. And also it does feel like a natural step towards a relationship though. So like, are we going to do a thing where eventually Luz has feelings for Amity? Like what's Amity going to do at this point? Is she going to voice these feelings to Luz? How's that going to play out in the last 3 episodes of the season? Is this
What
our
if
last
it's
kind of major
Luz's gay
Illuminati?
awakening?
Yes.
Yeah, does
But no,
I mean
she is in love with Miss Education.
Oh, that's true. You're right. And
So-
Azura,
my
arguably.
theory is that Luce does like Amity, obviously,
Yeah.
but she just doesn't really realize it. 'Cause she doesn't
She's
really have
just
a frame for
stupid.
a
I just want to be her
Perfect.
friend.
And
really
she's also
fast.
just really desperate to have somebody that likes her and accepts her for who she
Right.
is.
Like she doesn't
And,
have
like, this
friends
is-
back home.
Yeah, and so like she's just really just letting this sort of friendship take it as it goes, but also like one of the things that I really loved reading was like an analysis that described Amity and Luce's love languages, where like Amity's
Like the
is
expert.
is physical touch, because she blushes anytime Luce touches her at all. But Luce is like grand gestures and acts of service, and Luce is like constantly doing things to help Amity and to protect Amity. Like she wants to be her fearless champion. She wants to help Amity save Willow and the understanding Willow. Like there's just like she's just constantly doing things just to try to be there for Amity. And so like it's really clear that like that's a manifestation of her feelings, but she just might not really recognize that that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, this is from
Definitely.
Pyroclastic 727 on Tumblr,
Yeah.
I believe, about the love languages. No,
I
that
like
was
how
a great.
Dylan's acting like Sarah didn't just message this to him and was like, hey!
I mean, I just want to make sure we cite it, but yeah, no,
Oh,
it was-
yeah,
I-
sorry.
Sarah definitely definitely messaged, I think, to all of us. I think that was a great analysis. Yeah, no, they approaching it from different angles. And one thing I wanted to also mention, along with like how this might influence how they display and realize their feelings, is I think they also have to deal with kind of like coming to terms with liking girls. So like how does that come into play here? Maybe on Boiling Isles this isn't really homophobia or anything. Maybe
We had-
Amity knows this already.
It definitely isn't, because we've seen Willow's dads exist in Understanding Willow.
Yeah.
Unless they're discriminated against for being gay.
Which
and that would make
for all we
perfect
know
sense.
they are. But it's possible. And, Luz maybe comes from, maybe she has a more conservative family or in a conservative area on Earth. So maybe this is more of a step for her to go past that we might see.
Yeah, and like we've already seen her mom being, as much as she's really like, and there's something that I've really picked up in these episodes is like, Luz's mom really loves her, but she also is like rather controlling of what is acceptable for Luz to do because she cares about Luz, but it doesn't always like help Luz.
She sent her to conforming camp. It's
Yeah.
a little concerning. Like, I don't want to say that it's gay conversion camp, but it could be. Like
I mean, I think you can read a lot of this episode.
Yeah, we're talking
one,
about a lot of themes. Like,
metaphors kind of towards, now that we know the show is getting into explicit queerness, you could read a lot of episode 1 as a metaphor for being different, being gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, and even this episode, especially like the analysis, not only is it's not, to watch as a child and to be like, oh, she doesn't want to be rejected by her crush and he just happens to be a girl. That's great. for acceptance, period, full stop, but then also a metaphor for she would be outed to everyone in her school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is, you know, a legitimate, understandable fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. On the other hand, we also have Luce, who has like her biggest fear is like her mom, like being disappointed in her, basically. Like there was that like line that the monster mom was saying, like, you're breaking my heart, and this is something like Luce is clearly really afraid of, doing something that her mom isn't accepting of, and so like that's also like something so relatable.
She can't
to
be
people who are
herself.
queer.
You can also really read the line where the monster goes, "Why can't you face your own mother?" as like a coming out metaphor. It can be read that way, but it totally wasn't in that way.
Well, just a period. Her mom doesn't accept her. She's sent her to this like conforming camp, and that this is also another thing that we have on top of in the Boiling Isles. Like, also, it's so funny that Eda can just go and do whatever she wants besides being like a wanted criminal. But like, you know, the conformatorium, and you know, there is that fear, like people want everyone to conform. They want Eda to conform. But then Luce is breaking barriers. She broke barriers in Hexside, not only by being the first human admitted, but then, you know, in like her first day of school, which we didn't get the chance to talk about the episode, like, you know, in its entirety, but first day of school, she's like, we should all get to study whatever we want. And also she has a rainbow outfit, you know, I'm not reading into it or anything.
No, read into it. It's good.
But you know, it's really interesting, like everything that is happening. And so I'm not sure. It's just hard to get a read. Like maybe even granted, regardless, the metaphors are there for coming out, for not being accepted for who you are, which, you know, whether it's because, you know, you're Hispanic or because you're different, because you're gay, like it's all there.
I think it's all of this very interesting in how it's going to play out in the upcoming episodes into next season. Are we going to continue to see this from Amity's perspective, kind of, which is by the way, really interesting dynamic where kind of more of the side character is the one with the crush on the main character, and we see her perspective on the relationship. And so it's like, are we going to see Amity dive into Amity's feelings more towards Luz? Are we going to see Amity talk to Luz about this?
Are we going to have like a closeted gay relationship? Like, you know, what if Amity has to, like, they can be together, but Amity's parents can't know?
Yeah.
Potentially, because she's a human, too.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't think we're gonna get that, and the thing that I'm seeing is, like, and what really is drives home in this episode is that, like, Luz and Amity help each other, or at least inspire each other to face their own fears, where, like, you know, Amity sees Luz, you know, risking, you know, this fighting the Grom monster to face her own fears, and then Amity realizes, like, no, I should, you know, face my own fears. I can be brave too. And like, you know, and you know, she says to Luz, like, I'm kind of amazed at how fearless you are, which is like, you know, a pretty sweet compliment to give to your crush. But then, you know, Luz sees Amity coming in to help her fight the monster and realizes, like, you know, wait, I have friends here that care about me, and, like, I'm not actually, you know, like, unworthy of being accepted the way that she felt back at home. And so, like, the things that she was texting to her mom at the end, where it's like, you know, this was really hard, but when things get tough, my friends help me out. And she recognizes, like, because of Amity and also because of, like, Gus and Willow and the rest, and Eda and King, like, she can also, like, overcome her own fears. And so, like, I feel like, you know, that sort of really came through in this episode. And so I don't feel like we're going to go backward into, like, the sort of fear of them being out, because they're continually inspiring each other to be brave and face their own fears. And so that's sort of where I'm feeling that they're at. But I think there's going to be some kind of challenge even still with, like, Amity's parents and Luz's mom. But yeah.
Yeah, the thing with Amity's parents, they said to her when she was young, like when she tried to be friends with Willow, just even friends, not even like a queer relationship, that they would like prevent her from being able to go to the school, so like they could probably get like Luz kicked out of the dimension or something crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know. That
definitely seems like a conflict to come. Yeah, and I love that analysis by Sarah. And it seems like Luz might have some sort of face off with the Emperor in the end of the season. So if they're facing things together, then I think maybe Amity's by Luz's side as that happens.
But she's part of the Emperor's Coven, so it's
that's a big conflict for Amity too. I mean, is she part of the Emperor's Coven?
She's like a protege.
A protege, right? Yeah. But I do think she's technically in the Abomination. But honestly, that mythology, I think I would like to see it fleshed out a little bit. But so I think that's a place to go at the end of the season. Amity being part of whatever Luz is going to face. Yeah, I mean, I think you could read Grom as kind of a finale to this Lumity we've been doing this season, but there are still 3 episodes, and this has been such a major part of the season that I think there could also be another major moment in the finale, maybe some sort of cliffhanger that we've been expecting, some sort of actual confession.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, it'd feel a little jarring if there was just no more big loser.
Yeah, no, I think that they've generally been seeding it through the episodes. I don't think that they're going to just drop it off completely.
Also, they're about to play sports. That's gay.
Yeah, we know that Amity is on Luz's team in sports next week.
Also, it's rugby, obviously inspired by rugby, which is a notable gay sport. Just want to put that out there.
Speaking from experience.
I am speaking from experience.
Rugby expert.
Rugby expert.
Okay. Okay. Let me quickly run through more of Lumity moments from this episode. Jump in if you have comments on any of these. We have the scene in the woods, another favorite scene of mine. In this
also,
episode.
That doesn't happen when you run into like your best friend in the woods. Like, this is so gay. Like,
I love how she plops down in the mud to make her feel better. It's so precious.
Yeah, like she just does anything to make Amity feel better. It's so cute. So
I feel like if Amity confesses to Luz, this isn't gonna be like she like has such feelings.
Luz is gonna say, "What? That's awesome sauce! High five!"
Right? Okay. So I don't know if she says awesome sauce, but like she would totally say that. Yeah,
she would.
Well, no, I want them to kind of go the stupid route and be like, "Oh, I like you too. We're friends," and it's just like, no,
we're a couple of besties.
Yeah, and should be again. They're 14, so it's like dealing with feelings at that age. I think is a lot different.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't want to think about that, but it's
different
true.
People that age can process feelings in different ways and stuff. In that scene in the woods, they're like face to face.
Oh my gosh,
she pulls her up, and I just was like, oh my god.
It only gets gayer. They just keep getting closer.
Yeah, I mean, in the episode, it's before the dance, so yeah, it does get gayer later. No, that scene is gorgeous too. This whole episode's really beautifully animated.
It's so
I
great.
love that.
And then she's like, "I'll be your fearless champion." Like,
and she says, "I'll be your fearless champion."
Like,
yeah,
who says that?
Yeah. It was in the beginning. It's so interesting because in the beginning of this, I mean, I guess like people who love each other would say that, but in the beginning of the show, where like Luz probably likes Amity because Luz is always I want to be Amity's friends. Like, this is my mission. Like,
I want to be her friend. Like, there's no gayer sentiment than I really want to be her friend.
And then it kind of shifts towards like once Amity like actually knows Luz a little bit, like she like likes her.
The biggest
like
crush
that sort of
ever.
subversion,
Amity's
even though it's
crush.
not actually a subversion.
And so now it's like, okay, let's get back to Luz's side of this. I don't know. Oh, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, she clearly has such feelings in some aspect for Amity.
Yeah.
Like definitely
friendly feelings.
Such friendly feelings, yeah. I am worn out of the friend memes. I don't know. I feel like it's.
I know. I don't know why. They're just so funny to me.
They're
very
so
funny, but yeah,
I think we're really worn out just because of Ladybug.
We were in a Just Friends period with Star for a long time, but this.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. This was hopefully this was the only Just Friends moment from this episode. Was the friends. Okay. That the scene in the woods. There's they training together, and there's a moment where there's puts her hand on her shoulder. They smile at each other. It's really good. The scene in the hallway, we finally see it. We're like, oh, that's going to be the big scene. No, that's not the big scene from this episode.
But it was, because you get introduced to the note and just her snatching it out of Luz's hand. We're like, oh, that's don't be suspicious activity.
By the way, I actually love how Disney marketed this episode. We saw in the trailer this hallway scene, which is a great scene, but we didn't know anything about the dance. We didn't know what Grom meant.
They know what they're doing.
They like really held back, like in a really good way, I think, in the promotion of the show.
But they were like, but Lumity is important and gay. That's all you need to know.
They prominently put in the trailer, but didn't reveal anything major.
They literally made a gay trailer. Like, Disney's like, yeah. They
Yeah,
know.
everyone on the crew and the people who market the show for Disney, I think all of them did a great job with the build up to this. The hallway scene and like it's basically what we saw in the trailer, but then they smile back at each other. I think at the end,
so
the
good.
two hands on the shoulders. I think from Amity.
Oh,
yeah,
that
but then
hallway scene.
they're flirting. They're totally flirting.
Oh yeah.
They're
She said
flirting
she
the whole
looks
episode.
Nice.
Oh, she says she looks nice.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you look nice.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, she
I
says
thought
she
you were
looks
talking
nice.
about the first hallway scene where she bumps into her and goes, "Watch it, idiot!" Oh, Luz, hi, I love
Yeah,
you.
The
it's
fact
so
that
good.
Amity's so composed and straightforward just says Luz looks nice in the same episode, we know that she has like a big crush on her. Like Marinette could never. Like
Marinette.
honestly, any character could never. Like
yeah,
this is
nobody
so,
could ever. Not even real
How is
people.
Amity so? How does she do
14-year-olds
this?
don't do that. Like,
Okay, for the record, I can't I get embarrassed when my wife compliments me. We're married.
So like, Andy,
We're married. And I'm like, that's
Coaching
gay.
lessons.
Stop that. Like, you like me? That's embarrassing. Like, we're married. It's ridiculous.
It's hopefully Amity's really open with her feelings and towards Luz. That would be wonderful. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, but Luce is like, oh, are you going soft on me, Blight? And Amity's like,
Oh.
never.
Gay
Yeah.
banter.
That's the new. This is not because I like you. I'm sorry. I said it. I had to say it.
You had
Going
to.
soft on me. Blight. I would like. Did she call her Blight before?
I don't think so. But
She
that's
called her
that's a
Amity
thing
Blight
to do.
when she's talking about being her champion, but never by her last name. That's pretty gay too, to refer to somebody as by their last
Calls her
name.
Blight more. Yeah, they need nicknames for each other. That's the next step. Pet names. When's that? I guess they have to tell
I
each other they like each other.
Really
first.
want Luz to be like gushing to herself in Spanish about how she feels about Amity, and Amity's just like, wait, what? I don't understand. Please translate.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
Like she's just like, oh my god, I love her so much, but she doesn't understand anything. That would be so good.
Yeah, I want other characters in on the feelings game. Like I want Ida to know, or Amity's siblings
Or
to
I
know.
King.
would
What do
be
you
like, hey, Will's
I feel like she would tell
hey.
King.
King would just not care, so he's the worst one to know. Like he would.
I need
I don't-
to-
That's why
Info
she would tell
to get
him.
her
yeah,
siblings
yeah.
back.
Amity
He
like
would just be like, oh, by the way, Luce likes you.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Amity's over at the Owl House in another episode. She just tells King, and King's like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
No, King's like on Luce's phone, and he doesn't even look up at Amity. He's like, oh, it's Luce's
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Like, he doesn't
They're like,
even-
no, you're not taking Luce away from me.
Oh yeah,
God.
that's true. We have King. Oh yeah, well, Amity's at the Owl House these episodes. Amity still has to apologize to King for stepping on his cupcake. So I
Okay,
yeah,
wait, we
that
did
never
talk about
happened.
we don't have to talk about the actual most important part of the episode, which is when Hootie finally got what he deserved.
Yes.
It was, that was like violent, even though we didn't see it.
I'm
Oh my
so
god,
glad
I
that it
had
came
in
from
the
Amity.
background. Yeah, the fact
Hootie,
that
yeah, Amity beats up Hootie. I will say this episode
Perfect.
toned up the Amity mean girlness like 10%.
true.
But then it also toned it down like 100% because she's so
She's
soft
so
with
soft.
Luz.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the
I-
record, someone should have beat up Hootie before this.
No, but it
No.
had to be Amity. It was perfect. It was so perfect.
They're gonna be best friends. I feel like eventually,
Oh,
Hootie
God.
and Amity.
Wait, what if Luz
Amity
tells
confesses.
Hootie,
Amity confesses to Hootie.
and then Hootie just
Oh,
Well, no,
tell
Hootie would
me
tell her-
everything.
And
A
no,
lot
and then
about
Hootie
him.
tells Luz immediately because Hootie sucks.
And Luz is like, "Shut up, Hootie. I'm not listening to you."
yeah, basically.
You
Hootie's
say a
like,
bunch of nonsense all the time. You're worse than YouTube.
and then at the end of the season, Hootie's like, I was trying to tell you.
oh my
Like,
god.
shut up.
yeah. Hootie's like, "I was trying to tell you this whole time."
That's
Okay.
what's gonna happen. Oh my god, she's gonna have to leave, or Amity is like gone, and then Hootie just spills the beans
God.
right at the end.
King, the best King moment at the end. He gets the tiara from Luz. He's like, "I'm king and queen, best of both things."
Perfect.
So good.
That was amazing.
Quality.
Best of both things.
So good.
I think the King subplot there's great King moments here, and then in the beginning with the cat videos, there's the whole subplot of him and Gus emceeing. I think that's like clearly the weakest part of the episode.
I think
dare
it-
Can we stop having B plots?
I do think B plots with King have been a little bit
A
unsuccessful,
plots
but I do
only.
think I think it's integrated really well into the episode. I just wonder like why it's here. Like I feel like there's a
what
lot
if-
going on in this episode.
Like, just imagine for a moment. What if we just didn't have B plots?
Okay, that was a very Dylan thought you had there, but we need.
Yeah,
it's a
there's the little
long
Dylan
show.
that lives in my head. That's
Unfortunate.
Hey.
Great.
The show has long episodes, but if any, the King thing was integrated well. I still think this is like the best episode of the show. I don't know. So
The king stuff is on point because it's all about his like fear of embarrassment.
Yes. Facing your fears.
Yeah, and
is
it plays
the
into
theme.
everything. Yeah, and we continue to really emphasize King as important, which I do think is nice, considering it's the type of character you could easily throw in the background. This was a very relevant, I think, King plotline, and he does.
But it was still kind of like weak in terms of the being as engaging as the rest of the episode.
Yeah, and it was nice to have Gus there, but yeah, it was a little random. But I feel like when they
Gus.
comment on them at the end after the dance, I think that's really good. That's like
really
a good
good.
integration of
Yeah,
it. So.
like aside, I'd really like more development of Gus. Like I feel like he's like still there to be just kind of like the third guy. You know, he's like the one of the person of color representation on the show, but like he really isn't that much more. Like I'd really like to see more of from his character, and Willow too. Like even though we had understanding
They're
Willow,
both very precious. Gus just makes
They
my
are.
heart sore.
Yeah. Gus
I think it was a
baby.
good episode for Gus, and we saw his rival, I think, in the photo.
Bartholomew. I was like, why do I forget?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
do you know his? Okay, but no, it's
Yeah.
Because his name's stupid. It's Bartholomew, but math. That's the only
Okay,
reason I know
Bartholomew.
it.
That is
yeah,
true.
no, Gus and Willow are still underdeveloped. I think Willow had a good episode in understanding Willow, but
They're going to be more developed in the gay football episode because Willow's on their team.
Willow's on
It's
their
true.
team. Yeah.
What if
where's
Willow's
Gus?
like
Is he-
super good at Grudgeby?
She totally is. She can
Grudge?
control the grass.
What if oh my god, what if Gus, I don't know why my brain just like stopped working. What if Gus is announcing Grudgeby? That'd be good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yes.
Why is it Grudge? What do you mean Grudgeby? Is that what the thing is called?
I think that's what it's called, Grudgeby.
How do you know that?
I don't
Why
know.
do people
knows
always know what
everything
things are
about
called
rugby,
before? It's like Grom is prom, but with Brewer. Is that what?
I'm pretty sure it's a Grudgeby.
We
Because-
learned the origins of Grom. Everyone's like, oh, we won't know what Grom is. No, it's the.
I'm glad that we got
Growth
that stupid origin story. That's really funny.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
the
really well
origin story,
animated,
but I
too.
don't care. Grom is gay prom.
Yeah.
Double
that's the
meaning.
true
Yeah,
meaning
prom,
in our
gay
hearts.
prom.
But I like that we
Lou's
got
like takes Amity's place. Yeah, it's yeah.
Also, forget Morp. Just call it gay prom. Grom.
forget what?
Grom.
Oh, have you not heard of Morp?
Like
meat
meat
morph?
morph?
Meat morphs?
Oh.
Is
Yes,
that what
thank
you
you
talking
both.
about? You talking about some meat
Oh,
morphs?
God.
That's immediately where my mind went.
People have Morp. It's backwards prom. It's like gay prom.
Oh, that's cute. But Grom is better.
Yeah, Grom, exactly.
Okay, that's the new thing. We see the end of the trailer. I think we've seen the whole trailer now, or at least most of it. Yeah, but we see that it's people who called that being an illusion or something. Yep, it's not real. Luz's mom coming into the portal.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that happened. I really thought she was going to somehow find her way through the portal, and I was like, I don't want it. It seems rushed and contrived.
I mean, I think it'll happen eventually. By the way, now that we know the portal's open, Lumity Date on Earth is totally
Yes!
Yes.
Oh my god. Where would
I
they
saw,
go?
yeah,
first,
saw
though?
fan art of Amity wearing a beanie to hide her ears.
Yes.
Oh
so-
my god.
Yeah.
But where would
Losing
they
my mind.
go?
Anywhere,
They
I
get
don't care.
milkshakes, like in that one
Ooh,
art.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
storyboard.
yeah.
Luz
that-
can't
God,
have
that
milkshakes.
milkshake
No
art
no
is so
milkshakes.
cute.
Luz can't have milkshakes.
Oh yeah, no milkshakes. She's lactose
Oh,
intolerant.
yeah.
But that
Dairy-free milkshake. We
Yeah.
gotta have it.
yeah, that
Dairy-free
artist
milkshakes.
storyboarded this episode, right? The one who drew that picture.
Oh yeah, the original. Yeah, one of the earliest Lumity fan arts. Yeah, it was from a storyboard artist. Yeah.
God, so good.
There's like a million storyboard artists credited on this episode, so probably. Okay, so the letters, we see plot development also in this a big plot episode. We see Luz's mom has been receiving letters from someone. So two
That
big
can't even
theories.
spell Luz's name.
Can't even spell Luz's name. Here's the two theories. Number one, that I've seen. I don't know if these are true. Number one, Ida sending Luz's mom
Big
letters
man.
to placate her, or maybe there's something more sinister going on. Number two, the Emperor sending Luz's
Okay, but
mom letters
how? Why?
as some sort of conspiracy that Luz was dragged into the demon world in episode 1. The Emperor orchestrated all of that and is now placating the mom. The camp was all a setup. The camp was just the Emperor. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a conspiracy theory. I'm actually on board with that last one. Though.
Yeah, no, this isn't. I like these theories because, like, one, I mean, the obvious answer would be Ida, but then it's also like, does Ida even care enough to send
I
letters
don't think,
to her mom?
yeah, that would involve a sinister turn for Ida to a certain extent.
Or it's
So-
not like, well, it comes off as sinister, but she's doing it because she really cares about her and she doesn't
Yeah.
want her to leave. BS.
Right.
That would
Also,
be
but Ida also refers to Luz a lot as her kid, and like,
Yeah.
does she secretly want to adopt Luz?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah,
that
no,
could be
Ida's-
a thing. Oh
Ida
my god,
towards
can we have
Luz's episode
Matilda?
is good.
Yes. Oh my. Oh wait, but her
Except
that
I
makes
like her
evil.
mom. Yeah, I know.
I like Luz's mom.
I think we know we're getting the Emperor in the last episode or last few episodes. I think some sort of big plot involving.
Yeah, like there's some sort of evil like thing,
some sort
like,
of evil scheme with the Emperor and
Yeah.
Luz and stuff.
Yeah, I really
How
thought
does
it was
the Emperor
funny
know
that-
what a mortgage is?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that in the letter? Mortgage?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
some
Learning
there's
all about
some
mortgages.
theory
Wait,
There's a
but mortgages
theory
could be a
that
thing in that
Luz's-
universe.
that Luz's dad is the
Luz's
Emperor.
dad is the Emperor.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know what?
Luz's dad could come into play. Yep, that's possible.
Don't want it.
I agree.
We just know nothing about the plot of the show,
It's
so
true.
anything's possible.
I really
okay.
like that she responded to her mom like, "Oh, that's a funny way of saying text." Because
No, I
my
was like,
father
girl,
is,"
what are
and,
you
like,
talking about?
Thank you for your message. Like, just say
Look,
text.
Look, it's not just Amity's feelings that Luz is oblivious about.
Luz is
She's
just
oblivious about
oblivious.
everything.
She's just dumb. She's like
She's just-
oblivious
she is just
bisexual.
kinda
Love
dumb,
it.
Yeah. We
She
love to
can't
see
help
it.
it.
Okay.
Wait, have we talked about her training? Because I wanted to talk about one of her fears being men.
Oh yeah,
who
what
want to
about her
debate
fears? Yeah, men on the internet. Yeah.
Terrible.
I
It's so
love it.
good.
So
What
good.
about the cat with human soul imbued in
No,
it or something?
That was
the lady
bad.
men are way more
It
scary.
was the voice. I was like, please stop.
Dana tweeted like the executives hated the human face cats. So I'm glad that that's where they're channeling their energy into instead of the gay in the episode.
So like, gay
It's
is
funny
fine,
that it's
but
in
the
this
human
episode.
cats
Yeah.
are really bad.
I feel like
I
I'm
thought they were
so
funny
used
in there.
to, like potty and fart jokes in American cartoons. This is so refreshing. Like actual jokes based
They're
on
so
like
funny.
real life, like social media, what have you. It's so good. Lots of ringers.
Yeah, I think that kind of fits in with the tone in episode 1 of Luz talking about like her making fan vids and stuff like which it needs.
Don't
animate
insult
videos.
shipping in my presence.
Yeah, don't insult shipping in my presence. Yeah, but we need to bring that back. By the way, of Luz
We also-
talking about fandom.
You could petition
How is
for-
how is Luz like a fandom shipper and is oblivious to feelings right in front of
because
her?
that's what happens when you don't channel your emotions properly. You only focus on fictional characters because you don't know how to express your own emotions.
Retweet.
Are you talking about us? Is that what's happening?
Listen, I'm only
Okay.
speaking for myself.
Okay.
I've never made
Probably,
it
maybe an
video, but I want to.
Okay, so the other episodes, we mentioned the first day. With by the way, that's a really good episode. The first day, the Amity talking to herself. We're like, "What's the scene?" And it's like, "Wow, this is a very pretty gay scene." Amity talking like, "Luz is going to school now."
Heterosexual about it,
What
and
does
then
that
there
mean?
wasn't.
Doesn't change anything. In the beginning, she like high fives Luz as well.
And the
in that
Abomination
episode.
high fives are hilarious.
Yeah. Any comments on?
I wanted to
Yes.
make a point though with Training Grand Prix. With the fear of Amity like getting rejected by Luz, but we can't see who it is because it's not Luz. I saw someone somewhere theorize that like, what if it was Amity like practicing with her Abomination, and that's why it looked kind of like bloody, like the person, like Amity practicing asking Luz and then getting rejected.
Amity would practice with the Abomination though. That's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Abomination BFF. Yeah.
Does this make Amity Zuko because she practiced on?
Absolutely.
Okay,
No.
good.
Don't. Yeah. Don't say
Amity
that.
here.
Amity. Yeah. No. I honestly. Okay. She does have a little bit of that energy. Yeah. She.
Kind of, just 'cause
season
she's so
3
precious.
Zuko energy. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Okay.
She does.
Any comments on really small problems? No Amity in that episode. No.
I don't
no notes
even
on it.
remember what it. Oh, I remember. I mean, it was good, but no gay.
It was a fun episode.
It was done well. I mean, I like how they do the lessons in each episode.
Yeah, I there's fun moments in the episode. I think overall quality wise, I think Owl House has pretty like compare. I think really small problems to Grom.
Oh!
I think there's like huge quality difference. So I think
I remembered
that's
a
something
line.
to improve on.
Wait, those
Yeah.
are my stupid kids.
Yes,
I like
that's
that.
another time she references that.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. Yeah, I think we've been honestly, Ida's been sidelined a little bit in favor of Amity in recent episodes, but yeah, there's probably kind of a subplot arc going on of Ida's like endearing, like Luz endearing to Ida and stuff, and how that's going to play out. Maybe if they're separated in the finale, or that's a possibility, and she gets really upset over that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening.
And I mean, I do think that their relationship has been sort of slowly developed. I think in the Grom episodes, there was a lot of Luz, wanting Ida to take her more seriously, and like, that she isn't too fragile and unprepared, and always getting herself into trouble, that kind of thing.
I don't know if this is kind of related. It's very weird that this is a show where Luz could just go home at any time because the portal is right there and that's open. Like, we have a ton of shows where they're trapped there. This is just like an optional isekai.
It's because she wants to be in this isekai.
She wants to be there, yeah. No, like Amphibia, Infinity Train, like they can't go home. Yeah, it's so they could. It would be exciting if we just go to Earth at some point for a date. There.
And
it's also terrifying. It can be yanked away at any point, though. I feel like that's another factor.
The portal, yeah. Oh God, what if the Emperor's Coven steals the door?
Or like she just like gets thrown in the portal and closes it, and like that's.
Oh, and then she can't come back. No, I don't want it.
Like it's
something involving Albert.
Albert,
because he opens the portal.
And
we need more Albert. No Albert.
Albert is the Emperor.
Hootie's the Emperor? That would be the best.
Actually, yeah, that would be the best.
Still Waiting for the King is actually evil twist.
Oh, speaking of Albert, that was a really great moment in Really Small Problems when Edie's and she's like, something, she like makes that stupid staff pun, and then Albert's playing like a whack-a-giraffe. Hilarious.
Yeah, where's our Albert follow-up episodes, episode 10?
It's so funny that we have Hootie, who is like the worst thing ever on Earth, and then we also have Albert. Like,
there's the best. The two sides of the owl. Okay.
Yes.
Understanding Willow.
Albert plushie.
Understanding a great episode. Understanding Willow. We could obviously talk about it a lot more, but the big moment, Luz hugging Amity and her blushing in response.
There was no heterosexual explanation for any of that episode, honestly.
Like, it was just a whole Lumity going on an adventure episode. It's the thing I love to see.
Yes, Lumity going on an adventure to fix a friendship, women empowerment, beautiful.
Yeah. Allie did reaction video to this episode. Your reaction to that.
I also did one to Grom, and I definitely dislocated something with throwing my arms up at one point.
Is it relocated now?
I don't know. Everything hurts.
TBT. Is that from that or from other things, though?
That's a good question.
Okay. The other things that Understanding Willow, they're holding hands for like a long time before they go into Willow's head, like longer than necessary.
Just friend things.
It's just a friend handhold, says Luz, yeah.
And then we also see these other, like at one point Willow and Amity are holding hands, but like she's not blushing, and it's like, you gay for Luz. So gay.
By the way, it could just be that Luz like does like Amity and like has a crush on her, but just like would never think that Amity would like her back because she like puts her on such a pedestal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's so great.
I'm about it.
Like, I don't see it because
it makes sense because back home, like again, she's been looked down on even by her peers for her being weird.
Yeah, she definitely has a lot of insecurity about herself. And
relatable.
Yeah. It's like that, and also, you know, like she like really wants to be a witch, and she sees Amity as like the pinnacle of being a witch. I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be hard. Maybe it'd be hard for her to accept.
But also, like Luz now might think that Amity likes someone else.
Yeah.
So yes. Oh, the trauma.
Oh no. What if she thinks it's like, I don't know? Was there an attractive boy in the school? I can't think of anybody.
Not really.
Also, like. Well, another reason, like, we're going really hard on this Lumity, like, another, like, instance is, like, the fact, like, for Lumity to happen, they had to fix things between Amity and Willow. Mm-hmm. So they were like, let's do this first. Okay, now let's be gay. So, like, we're definitely building to this, like, this is extremely important. And then we're getting into, like, now they're all going to be on the same team for Grudgeby. And, like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, I just love, like, because that's the thing. They're like, okay, for them to be together, we have to fix this. And so, like, it's happening, guys. It's real.
It is.
Yeah. So Amity and Willow do reconcile a little bit at the end of the episode, and
very realistically.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight, like you know, even though the episode, you know, it's about Willow, but like Amity is really emphasized in this episode. But like Willow's perspective in here is like, I think it's a really important story to tell of like, you know, how hard it is when you're younger to have a friend that decides like, I'm not going to be your friend anymore, and then
friend breakups are terrible.
Like that really messes you up.
It's arguably more traumatic than romantic breakups, especially at that age.
Yeah, and so like I think that having the story of you know, facing that trauma and you know, working through in a really compassionate way where you kind of understand people's, you know, experiences, but in a, you know, an understanding way, I think it's a really great story to tell. And I think, you know, I'm glad that we got to see this story from Willow, and I'd like to see more of her, and also her and Amity like rebuilding their friendship if that's possible.
That's what makes me excited for next week's episode when they're all going to be on the same sports team, because there's probably going to be butting heads, but in the end, they're all going to come together and hashtag teamwork, and it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I really hope there's further Amity Willow reconciliation.
I want all of them to
same
be
team.
friends.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
And Gus comes in at the end too.
Gus
Yeah.
is Bo. He's going to be like best friend squad.
He's gonna be the cheerleader.
Yes. He's
Yeah,
going to have
so-
pom-poms.
Other parts of understanding Willow, Amity blushing at Lou's, like encouraging them.
We can fix this together.
Yes. They're really, oh my God, they just make me so happy.
And we mentioned we saw Willow's two dads. So we're seeing also casual queerness from Willow having two dads, seeing the gay Grom couple.
And it's, I remember, I think it was like during the like She-Ra charity stream for Black Lives Matter when they talked about like you see LGBT couples have kids and it's like it's not discussed because like it's a magical world. It doesn't have to be discussed, or they could adopt. It doesn't matter. And like I'm really hoping we don't have to address it in this universe too. I don't know. It's a little iffy.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll probably meet them at some point, and we could.
I hope so. I really hope they're like
No homophobia, please.
really cute dads and they have a lot of puns and it's cringe.
Yes.
Like, a part of me is thinking, like, are we going heavy on the Luz and Amity until they get together, and then we have more time to, like, do more Willow stuff?
Right.
You know, like, maybe that's a thing. They're just together.
I'd like to see
Willow's
that.
more of a main character.
Yes.
Witch
they're
girlfriends
just dating.
fighting the Emperor, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'd love to see it. Okay. Other understanding Willow moments. Yeah, just a very good episode.
It's just so cute, and like all the different memories and them just being kids was extremely relatable. It's just good. It's just good content, and the whole time Luz and Amity being super cute.
Oh yeah, and her parents. We do. I want to touch on that because toxic parenting is the worst,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it makes
Amity's
me
parents,
afraid
yeah.
for what's going to happen when they find out about Luz because it's totally
Yeah.
coming up.
Yep.
But I'm excited.
But it's also like kind of what Sarah was saying about like facing your fears. Like the fact that we already got to this point where where Amity was gonna ask her to Grom.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Like that's amazing.
it is.
Yeah, it's already
And
a lot of like Amity facing them in this episode, when she like reconciles with Willow, and then in Grom too.
Yeah, well, all with the encouragement of Luz. They build each other up. It's such an incredible
So
relationship.
good.
They really
I
do.
can't wait to
They're
get off
like
this podcast and make my wife
Perfect
watch
compliments
this
to each
episode.
other.
Please do.
I'm going to. I'm going to be like,
Right.
sit down, watch this.
Can we all watch it
Are you
together?
going to start with this episode, or are you going to go back and?
No, I'm going to show her this episode. and then I have to go
don't
back.
do that.
She's not
Yeah,
going to. She's not going to.
It's not ideal, but you have to get her into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So you
have to make her watch it.
Show her
go
at
straight
least
to
the dancing.
You could show the 30-second clip, yeah, and
Yeah,
see if
no,
that'll get her to watch the whole thing.
Show her the hug first. Show her understanding Willow first. She might watch that
You don't
because that was pretty good.
understand the short attention span that my wife has.
That's,
30
that's
seconds.
why just the dance. Yeah, just the dance.
And then we all have to watch it together.
Yes.
That was what I thought. That was what this podcast is when we went through the entire episode.
Well,
Basically.
then plus my wife.
But yeah, okay, watch party.
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay. Delaney, any final thoughts on Grom or anything we've talked about?
It's just, I made a tweet about it earlier. It's just to have shows like this, like She-Ra and The Owl House, like, you know, I'm 24 and, you know, I figured out I was gay when I was in college, but to know that now we have these stories for, you know, the kids we were, and like, you know, it just means so much. And like, just to, you know, from being on this podcast, from the spirit world, when we talked about Korra, like to experience all of this and all of the progress that's been made and all the progress that's yet to be made, like Rebecca Sugar talked about the pinhole. And like, you think there's all this influx of gay content. It's like, no, it's because we have 5 gay cartoons out of the like past like 100 years of animation. And it's just amazing. And it makes me feel like it's hard not to just grin like an idiot after watching an episode like this, and just to be so happy and like to feel accepted. And then also it's just so important to me that there, you know, I didn't have this growing up, but to know there are kids out there who are going to have this. And it's not just for the gay kids. I mean, just people in general, everything to be more accepting. Like for people to have 2 dads, for a girl to like a girl, for like, you know, just for your best friend who isn't gay, but you are, like, you know, like all of this is important. It's important for everyone. We all rise up together. And this is just amazing. Like, and this episode is so great. And also it's kind of this quote unquote normal, like, you know, it was a school dance. Yeah, they like fought a monster, but like, you know, you having these undercurrents of like normalcy, I think is also what really sells the Owl House, and it's just so cute. And these like young characters just being adorable, and like, and I, you know, I saw like, you know, a comparison, like, you know, there's, you know, we talked about there's a lot of angst in She-Ra, which is amazing. We love gay angst. Gay angst is magical. But then to have this very like, you know, this cute, soft, like it's, I mean, it's just nice. It just makes you feel good inside.
Love it. Yeah, the cute, soft. Yeah, no, my speed.
Dylan's like, yes.
Sarah and I have been loving this.
Yes.
So good. God, they're so gay and so cute.
Also, like, we've been day one shipping this, and, you know,
True.
already happening. It's a very satisfying
It is.
experience.
It's very satisfying. It's true.
Yeah. So, Sarah, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like this kind of like, you know, depiction of a relationship with Amity and Luz is definitely like my speed. That's why Dylan and I get along so well, because we love this stuff. Like it's just like I can appreciate angst, but I think like what I love the most is like just really genuine, vulnerable relationships where like build each other up and encourage each other and grow, but like also just generally like really care about each other and love, and you know, maybe make mistakes, but like in general everyone is really soft and loving, and that's just the kind of thing that I love. And I think, to echo what Delaney said, like when you're someone who's coming to terms with being queer, like having representation like this, like it, like if you're not someone that can relate to that, like it's something that's hard to describe of how important it is to like feel seen in that way, and to have your feelings like be shown back to you in a way that like makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, like this is something that like makes sense for me to feel. And so like it, like this kind of stuff is so important and incredible, and I think that the show is doing just such a wonderful job. And I'm really, really excited to see how it continues.
Love it. Yeah. So very exciting. And 3 more weeks of it in the season too.
No.
Allie, what are your final thoughts?
Not enough time. I need more than 3 weeks. I mean, you guys know, like, we've probably, I'm assuming, like, most people, at least in our server, who started watching this, really shipped Lumity from the beginning, but everybody basically except for you two, Dylan and Sarah, were really skeptical because of the network. And I've just, like, I shouldn't be as shocked as I am, since it's 2020 and it has really been like the year for the gays in terms of animation, but I've just loved every second of this. And like thinking about, like, basically in the same vein as Delaney said before, like thinking about how Kurosami changed like my entire world when I was 21, like the power that comes with this, like from young gay girls seeing Amity on Disney Channel is insane. And like cartoons in this vein, and like She-Ra and Steven Universe, seeing it as a kid, whether you're gay or not, being able to like see this rep and realize that it's like completely normal, and see that what these characters experience is awesome, just means so much. And I'm really, basically with every show like this, I get a lot of hope for the future, and it's really necessary in these times, whatever country you're in. Just, it's really a great, like, Sarah, you used the word cathartic. I was like, I want to coin queer-tharcism.
Queer-thartic. So,
like, that's just how I feel, and it's beautiful, and I need more of it.
we can't
Thank you,
overstate how
Dana,
important
Molly,
this is.
everybody who works on this show.
Yeah.
They really need the credit and not the network, honestly. I'm going to stand by that.
Of course, yeah. And yeah, that's wonderful.
I add really quickly, and something that we've been talking on Discord is how meaningful it is that these are like slightly younger
Yes.
girls, you know, than the queer characters that have been represented so far. And so like especially
Like children are gay.
yeah, like for like, you know, young teen girls to have this representation is like unbelievable.
It really is. I'm sorry, children are gay. It just makes me laugh.
Children are
True.
gay.
Children are straight? No, children are gay.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, no, I think that's an important thing. We've never seen it to this extent with younger characters. Yeah, all that's really wonderful. No, yeah, now I was thinking about something. It's like, what if this was the show we were into around Korra times or even before? That would have been so incredible.
Oh my god.
I'm like
There's a lot of
so
people
happy
going
for
through
these
that right
kids,
now.
but I'm so envious. I'm not like 12 years old right now.
Right?
Okay, it's I love all the sentiments at the end, and love getting into everything for Losing Amity, and we'll probably be back to check in again at the end of the season. Hopefully there'll be more big Lumity moments to talk about, and
Lumity
hopefully a bit cool plot stuff to talk about too. Maybe other things.
Emperor being Hootie is gonna just stay on the lookout.
Cool. Emperor Hootie.
Yeah, Hootie's the thing we want to bring up as terms of other things we're excited to see.
Perfect episode to show my wife Hootie gets beat up. Perfect.
Yes, actually, that's true. Okay, acceptable.
That's the highlight.
But she's not gonna understand how terrible he is.
He's so annoying.
And I think you think you can pick it up pretty quickly.
That's true.
That's a good point.
Hootie's great.
No.
No, do I hate? I don't remember.
Am
Am I supposed to hate Hootie? I think I don't remember. Yeah, there you go. That's let us know what you thought of Hootie and Lumity in that order.
Let us know if you think Hootie is worse or better than Swiftwind.
Good comparison, yeah. And
That's hard. I don't know.
no, we love Swiftwind. Everyone loves Swiftwind.
Everyone loves Hootie.
Hootie, if only Hootie started a communist revolution.
Yeah, then we'd like him more, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Overlyanimated.com. Find all the ways to contact us there. YouTube.com/overlyanimated. Consider supporting us via Patreon. Patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, especially our patrons of the podcast, Otaku Guy 01, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, Hugh, Michael, Needle, and Phoenician. Check out other stuff at overlyanimated.com, and we'll be back probably at the end of the season for another Owl House podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.